Hi there, and thanks for joining us for some exclusive first looks at the Dune Awakening beta. Yes, we are finally allowed to say that we have participated in the persistent closed beta since a while and are excited to talk to you about the game. While we aren't permitted to record our own gameplay just yet, we got some exclusive footage to show you. In part 1 of our beta impressions, we take a look at the intro to the game and the initial tutorial to see if they really nailed the feeling of entering the world of Dune. And also to give you an idea of how your character will fit into all of this and what your role will be. All the footage is from the beta as of right now, so you will see the latest state of development and can get a good idea of what it feels like to play the closed beta.
Show yourself, child.
Of course, being in beta means the game is still under development and things might change, get fixed, polished and so on, but let's get started. Now, before you even start with creating your character, you get thrown right into the game world facing the Reverend Mother as a prisoner. It's quite immersive, and we feel it really sets the tone of what's to come. When it comes to the character customization itself, we are first greeted with a number of presets that give us an idea of the available range. There's a good number of sliders, but we'd say it's all kept within the realm of more realistic characters, nothing too crazy. For instance, we can adjust the height and thickness of our arms and legs, as well as chest, but it won't allow us to create insanely different body types. There are some good skin and makeup options. The hair looks generally great, but temper your expectations if you expect anything akin to Asian MMOs and their character creators. Once we are set and have chosen our name, we continue our chat with the Reverend Mother. This leads us to choosing a background which will influence some dialogue options in-game and teach us a unique emote.
The Order of the Imperium is rooted in the Farfreluches. A place for every man and every man in his place. There is always work to be done. And millions like you to do it. You had a mentor in your youth, trained by one of the schools. Who was your mentor?
And most importantly, we select our starting profession. Now, if you're uncertain which skills you'd like to learn, then don't worry, you can actually unlock all professions in-game, and your choice now only determines your starting abilities. However, it can take some time to learn the other professions depending on where the skill trainers are located and what quests they have for you. So make sure to choose something you definitely want to have right away.
You must have been very young. The mind must be prepared or the training does not take.
Once we're all set, the Reverend Mother will put us to the famous hand-in-the-box test.
Come here. Kneel. Put your hand in the box. I hold at your neck the Gonjabar, the high-handed enemy. Don't pull away or you will die.
We think this is a really cool take on character creation. By blending the choices you make with the actual intro cinematics, you get the feeling that you're already in the game.
The Fremen are missing. You will go to Arrakis as our agent, prisoner. You have one task. Find the Fremen. Wake the sleeper. Everything depends on this. Do you understand?
And the story doesn't stop here. Someone clearly has other plans for our prison transport. We see flashes of the crash scene and some misfortunate passengers.
an off-worlder.
Our fate, though, seems to be in the hands of a mysterious figure who is rescuing us.
No, Arista said it was just a dream. I agree, but she is almost Sayadina.
Once we awake, we find ourselves in a cave. Maybe that's a good omen for Team Pixelcave. And now it's time to finally take control of our character. By venturing further through the cave, we come across a body with a frem kit. Once acquired, we get our first tutorial hint. We need a knife. Basic items can be crafted directly on your character. We equip the scrap metal knife and break the seal of the cave. While doing so, we also get some resources. Micro sandwich fabric. As you will learn over time in game, some resources are unique to certain points of interest, and this one can only be found in caves and Fremen locations. Next, we learn about another key survival mechanic, hydration. By drinking dew from the plants that can be found sparsely across Arrakis, we can satisfy a basic level of hydration. After progressing further through the cave, we come across our first gatherable resource and learn how to craft simple heal kits. We're also told how climbing works in game, and if you're familiar with Conan Exiles, then this will be a very similar experience, as you can freely climb pretty much anything, and also jump while climbing, which is a thing we really like.
Stick to the shadows, off-worlder. The heat of the sun is deadly to the unprepared.
Once out of the cave, we learn more about heat management and sunstrokes, and experience our first combat encounter.
The guards have sealed themselves inside. Search the prisoners for a cut array,
and we finally get some more loot and our first essential tool, a cut array. Cut arrays are used for mining rocks and other minerals, and can also be used to open sealed doors in some locations. Over time, you will learn to craft better and more powerful cut arrays, which you will need to gather higher tier resources. Most tools and weapons in Dune Awakening require power to operate, so you'll always need to carry a power pack with you. As with the cut array, the more powerful the tool, the more power it will draw, and you'll learn to craft better versions as you progress. The final part of the intro tutorial is teaching us basic combat mechanics. For instance, we learn how to stagger our opponents and how to parry.
Parry your opponents just as their strikes will hit you. This should stagger them, giving you a window of opportunity.
The most important mechanic, however, is how to deal slow blade attacks. Learning this is essential for any future encounters with shielded enemies. If you want to deal any serious damage and get out of sticky situations, knowing how to penetrate their shields is absolutely essential. Believe us when we say we have died quite a few times at the hands of shielded foes during the beta, especially in higher level areas. It will take some practice and the right timing to get the hang of it. It is possible to overwhelm shields with ranged and other weapons, but in close quarters you'll likely die without a slow blade attack, unless using specific abilities. Now, while we're about to set foot on the sands of Arrakis and begin our true adventure, what are our thoughts about the experience so far? Well, to truly get a feel for the latest state of the beta, we created brand new characters only a few days ago. And besides a few graphical glitches that are obviously something that will be ironed out over the course of the beta, this initial introduction to the game feels really polished. It familiarizes you with the setting and world, gives you an idea of the role you play, and teaches you some of the core mechanics.
We only need the leader.
Knowing the game, especially the mini combat tutorials, are done well and in a way that's fluid and easy to follow. Last but not least, the music, soundscape and visuals do the franchise justice. And we'd say on that front the game has really succeeded. Now, while the beta as a whole has still some way to go, the intro and beginner tutorial are solid and well done. Stay tuned for our next glimpse of the beta, when we take our first steps on the sands of Arrakis, face the worm, learn more about survival and prepare for our first challenges. As always, thank you for joining us on our adventures, and if you like what we do, please leave a comment, give us a thumbs up, subscribe or become a member of our channel. Your support makes all the difference.